Have you realized that your career is actually a 40-year voyage? And if you're like me, well, you're probably only halfway through it. How then can you make the rest of your journey even more meaningful? We all change over time. What was important to us 10 years ago, like maybe money, job titles, may not be our top priority today. In fact, would what we enjoy today be of any value to us 10 years from now? So, are we chasing our current dreams at the expense of future goals? We need to review our past, reflect upon our present, and then create the future we want. We need to examine how things like financial security, career satisfaction, personal relationships factor into our life and how it should drive our career strategy.
So, instead of blindly putting in the hours of hard work every day, come, find out how you can achieve lasting career success and learn how to live a meaningful life through your career. Click the link to find out now.
Good morning, Singapore. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Career Success Show, our weekly episodes that we put out every Friday morning just for you on career matters that matter to your career. Good morning. My name is Adrian, and I'm the CEO founder of Career Agility International. And together with me as well, every Friday morning is Yen. Good morning, Yen. How are you doing today? Your mic has to be turned on.
Good
Hey,
morning. I'm happy
It's
it's Friday.
It's Friday. It's okay. How was your week this week? I know we've had a crazy week,
It's
but
been
how's
it's
it?
been busy. It's been busy,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had some interesting news, isn't it, Adrian?
Yeah, I know
The,
we were listening to the news, but even before listening to the news, just on Wednesday, a song came on the radio, and which really caught my an earworm in me, which was Creedence Clearwater Revival. I know, yes, I know it dates me, but that song Bad Moon Rising. I see a
yes.
bad moon rising. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
one.
No, don't sing, please,
I'm not gonna
please.
sing. That's about all there is to it. But it got me because it talks about a bad moon rising, and I was wondering, is that song pretty apt for what's happening
Yeah.
here?
In life,
So
right? When things are great, when things are bad, we tell people like, don't worry, it won't last. When things are great, or things are looking good, it also doesn't last. I mean, I don't want to be like the
such
prophet
a
of
party
doom or
pooper you
something.
are. Such
I
a
am
party
so
pooper.
sorry,
Go
man.
ahead,
But
rain on my parade.
we need to be cautious. We need to be vigilant. We cannot rest on our laurels. We
That's
cannot
true.
get complacent. So
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. A dose of reality helps a lot, and unbridled optimism is not the way to go. I mean,
Yeah.
you can be like
You
me.
can
I'm a
think,
Pollyanna.
I don't know.
Excuse me.
When you say that, I can imagine you with pigtails coming out the sides.
Pollyanna. Pollyanna, for those of you, Pollyanna is a person who is extremely optimistic all the time to the point where it gets
Yeah.
annoying. But I'm a bit like that. But anyway, for those of you who just joined us,
I'm
my
a
name is Adrian.
realist.
You're a realist, yes. So my name is Adrian. I'm CEO, founder of Career Agility International. Yen is the executive director and co-founder and the realist,
Good
who,
morning, everyone. I'm
who
I'm the plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Yes, correct. And you know what? The outcomes are always wonderful because if you plan for the best, hope for the best, plan for the worst, the outcome is usually somewhere in between, which is good enough. But we are Career Agility International, and if you haven't heard of us, which rock have you been hiding under? But no, if you haven't heard of us, no, we are the organization that helps individuals like yourself to build more meaningful, happier, and more fulfilling careers. And we do it through our sessions like these, like through our books. And we have a really nice book coming up in September. The title is called The Great Career Paradox. Yen and I have been writing about it, and we've been launching it. So we'll be launching in September. Uh,
Yep.
but uh, but besides that, we digress a little. Talking about Bad Moon Rising, we've been seeing a lot of interesting news on the radio and on TV, haven't we?
It's like, yes, the market is improving. There are more jobs, but just because there's supply doesn't mean that there's demand. I mean, is this the type of jobs you want? Or maybe is it suitable, or is it in your sector? That's always been one of the conundrums when people say, "Oh, how's the market?" What does that mean? When the market is good, does that mean that I'm going to get a job? Or when the market is bad, does that mean I can't find a job? Or it's not a simple, straightforward curve or equation. So it
That
does
is
get
true.
very complicated.
It does, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And so what are we hearing, right? We're hearing all sorts
yeah,
of
mixed
not rumblings.
messages, rumblings. But and you brought up a very interesting point. When you said like if the market is up, what does it mean? It's like you can say the stock market is up, right? But does it mean every stock is up? No, some are going to be up, some are going to be down. Doesn't mean that
Correct.
everything, right? So when you say
And
the
when you
market
look
is
at a
up,
curve, even when the
yeah,
curve is on the upward trend, right, there are ups and downs.
yeah,
It's a
there's squiggles, right?
constant squiggles. Yes, that's a
Yeah,
good word.
squiggles. The technical
Squiggles.
term. I'm just making the words up as we go along. There's squiggles and
Wait,
friggles
let me drink some coffee.
they move along. And you always wonder, it's like, okay, but what does it mean for us? And that's why today we thought it would be instructive and prescient. Another big word for the day, prescient, for us to predict the future ahead. And as Elon Musk says, let me
Right.
flash what he just said.
I feel like he's the instigator of a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
I
he made
remember
he
a
made like a
dis-
couple of $1 billion with Dogecoin, right? Because he
wait, hang on,
instigated
hang
it.
on. I really remember in a not so distant past he stopped accepting crypto and it fell. Do you remember?
And that was before
It was
he
a not too distant past. And then
yeah.
recently he's made some waves in the news.
Yeah. Where do you think he gets his $44 billion to buy Twitter? So it's
I
like
wonder
this.
which
Hey,
crystal I wonder which crystal ball he's looking at.
he knows. He knows. He's the all-knowing Elon Musk. But I know what he said something interesting. 2 weeks back, he said, "I have a super bad feeling about the economy." Okay, one of his
That's a
cryptic
really good
things.
photo.
Yeah, I
Let me
know.
try.
I'm just being me.
Let me try.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. No, someone's gonna screen cap you and post it online. So good luck
Oh
to you.
no, you're right.
Yeah, you just
Oh,
did it. So,
okay.
but
Damn.
it's a question a lot of our clients are asking us. Hey, is the market picking up? Is the market picking up? Yeah, the
Mm,
market's picking up, but
mm,
it's selective. So today we wanted to talk a bit
yeah.
more about what does he mean by super bad feeling, and are we being overly optimistic about the job market? Because if we look at the
Yep.
news recently, what's happening?
Mm,
Uh, Tesla has laid off the country manager, okay, in Singapore. He was there only for a short while, but on a global scale, Tesla has plans to lay off about 10% of their workforce globally. That's a
yes.
lot.
It's a lot. How many people does he have in Tesla globally?
I don't know. It's quite a lot. I cannot remember the number, but I know it's in about 30,000, I think, because it's a car production company. So
Yeah.
and what is interesting is that he was saying that if you don't come to the office, you'll consider yourself fired as well. So maybe that's his way of letting
Yes.
people go. I have
Okay,
no
well
idea, right?
it started with that, didn't it? It
It
started
started
with
with that,
that.
right? You were saying, yeah.
And then well, he seems to be like the big villain for some reason, right? He's the one that causes like
Yeah,
the stone that drops into the water, and then there's the ripple effect, right?
yeah.
So he started by saying that there's going to be global cuts,
Hmm.
and then something else happened this week.
And he's the Bond villain. $1 million, $44 billion. So
Yeah.
he's, but then again, you're right. It's the ripples have been showing in the market. Shopee reportedly is letting people go as well, and a
Mm.
lot of tech firms. I mean, Crypto.com had a whole bunch of people go as well.
I
But
thought tech firms were hiring.
and no, they are really quite. They are really quite on the hiring spree, but they're also on a firing spree, and that's why we are going to talk a bit more about this today, and to see
Wait,
what
okay,
does it
so
mean
I've
for
just
us.
I've just received some information that Tesla has 110,000. 110,000. So what's
Wow.
10% of that?
Let
I
me,
can't
let me
math
get my
on a Friday morning.
let me get my calculator. 10% of 110,000. Let me see. Okay, it's about 11,000, give or take.
Yeah, no, Deborah just said, yes, it's global headcount 100K, so about 10,000
Yeah.
jobs are going to be impacted. Ouch. Anyway,
So, what's happening is that we are seeing tech firms as well hiring and letting people go.
Yes.
a lot of it on the quiet. A lot
Yes.
of it on the quiet. So,
Yes.
what we see are the charming, booming news, and but underlying that, what is the message? And today we can talk about it. So, for
I
those
like
of
to
us who
think that
just
it's an adjustment, market
it's
adjustments. It's always going to be
it is
uncomfortable, but yeah,
it is
it
yeah
will it will settle.
it will,
I'm quite
and I think
confident.
it's par for the course. So
Yes.
it's what's happening. But no, for those of you who have just joined us, my name is Adrian. I'm the CEO, founder of Career Agility International, and Jens, our executive director and co-founder. So today we're going to talk about not just about where the economy is heading up to, where the economy is heading towards. We're also going to talk about what then can you do about it.
Yep.
And no, it's during good times that we forget the bad times we've been through sometimes,
Yeah.
and the precautions that we took during the tough times, and we throw all
Yeah.
caution to the wind, and then too much to our detriment, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. And so you'll find that you might have gone a little bit too far out. I don't know, you walk out onto the bridge and it's a glass bridge, and then you've gone out a little bit too far and things are getting a bit shaky. Yeah. You want
Glass
to
bridge,
strengthen your foundations.
glass bridge. Okay, that's a good analogy.
I
I
don't
once
know.
walked.
I'm thinking of,
I once walked on a glass bridge in China. Terrifying,
I've never
terrified.
been,
It
I
terrified me
cannot imagine.
not because of the height, but because it was you know
I mean, you
the
can
where
see yeah, a bit
it
of
was
like
just
agoraphobia.
terrifying. Yeah, and it was constructed in a way which was it was just simply terrifying. So no, thank you. I'm a chicken when it comes to heights.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. The only thing I can think of was when I've been on one of those bridge with a suspension across
mm-hmm,
some sort of ravine
mm-hmm,
in one of those I don't know, it's one of those forests with a
uh-huh.
suspension bridge, and then as you get into the middle, it gets really, really shaky.
And I think that's a great
So
analogy for
yeah,
our career story, isn't it? When you first graduate, you're at one end of the bridge. You feel kind of secure, kind of safe. You wonder what the bridge ahead is like. And as you get to the middle and the wind's blowing and you're swinging left and right and you're wondering, oh no, help me, help me. But as you go towards the end, it becomes a bit more stable. And at the end
yeah.
of the journey, you retire
Once
nicely.
you
So
figured
it's
out, once you figured out your game plan,
yeah. And then you
yeah,
realize that okay, yeah, it's not that bad. So you're gonna get blown about. So the big question is, what's gonna happen? And being a big Game of Thrones fan that we were,
oh
this
no.
we
And you had to
were,
find someone. He got killed. Like
yeah,
what,
yeah, correct.
episode 5?
Season one. So being the big Game of Thrones fans that we were, okay, why we were because after the last
After
season,
season 8, we were like,
we are
nah,
not anymore. There was two of us. We were like, no, what is
meh.
it? Meh. I don't even watch the reruns of season 8, which is so sad because they all seasons 1 to 7. I watched it like 3 times through already, but now season 8 I've not touched it since we left it. Anyway, but winter is coming. Okay, winter is coming.
Yeah.
That's what we believe it's coming. The signs are there. The economic signals are there as well. Okay, you look at inflation, and if you look at the price of things that are going up, people are inevitably right now they are still not feeling the pinch that badly. Okay,
Yeah.
but
When it
there's no
comes
signs of
to,
abatement. It's going down.
well,
It's going to
it's
carry
not,
on.
I'm not overly pessimistic either. If you think about
Mm,
it, right, we have to be smart about how we relate and react to things. So winter is coming. Who's going to make money? The coal suppliers, the wood cutters, the people who provide hot soup. They'll do very well.
that's
So I'm
true.
trying to say that when things get bad, there will still be
Hmm.
hot spots. And
Yeah,
when things are good, that doesn't mean that there are no places that are dying or suffering or slowing down. So
yeah,
you just have to be very agile and jump from branch to branch. When the
yes,
branch that you're on is a bit shaky, then you move on to something a little bit more stable.
true.
But winter is coming, yes. So what can we do to prepare for it, right?
Yeah. So, and once again, what we're seeing going on right now in the market is a very interesting situation where it seems to be counterintuitive in a way. Job
Mm,
market is still strong. You still see nice figures going up, but the retrenchments are happening on the quiet. Companies are letting go. And the big question is, why is there? And the other interesting thing as well to note is that even though the job market is going strong, HR managers are complaining that they can't get the right talent, meaning they're
correct.
open. So we're going to see job market going strong, open positions, okay, and which they cannot fill. And this gives the
Correct.
illusion that the job market is so buoyant that we cannot find enough people, but it's more about finding the
Yeah.
right people. So the signal we are getting is wow, that it's so good. And the worst thing is what this also leads to is salary inflation. And
For
people are
for the
gonna
skills,
for the
exactly,
skills
for the
that are
skills
in needed.
that are in demand. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there are all these other people who are knocking on the door going like, why won't you hire me if you have an open position?
Yeah.
But it's because they have the skills that
Yeah.
the employer does not need at this point. So do
Yeah.
you remember a time, Adrian, when you were headhunting, but you were doing C-suite, so you were very high up there and very specific. I was doing a mid-market space, and there were roles that I couldn't fill, and there were people I couldn't place. So, like I was saying earlier, it's not a really straightforward supply and demand equation. It
That's
is
right.
it is it gets messier when it comes down to the details, because does the individual have the necessary experience in the background? So the job
Yeah.
market is strong, but retrenchments are happening. Those adjustments are the rumbling that we have to pay attention to.
That's true. Rumbling like my stomach this morning. So it's something which we need to take note of, and it's not just one singular phenomenon that dictates the condition of the market. Which means if you see people hiring, doesn't mean that the market is so buoyant, or if people are retrenching, oh no, doom and gloom. It's a balance,
Yeah,
and the whole
correct.
idea is this concept of pruning. You see this gardener out in the garden. He's pruning the tree, and that's what happens in economies and in companies. As much as you're hiring for the right people, as a company moves into new business models to tackle new consumer markets with new solutions, they need to hire new people, but they also need to let those people who are not adaptable go. So it's like
Yep.
pruning a tree. Let it grow here, snip a little there, let it blossom a flower here, snip the old buds
To
off on the other
blossom
side.
or to shape. I'm thinking of a topiary, right? Or topiary. How do you pronounce that?
It's
Whatever. You know,
topiary.
when they
Yeah,
when they
just ask
prune
Edward Scissorhands.
when they prune something into a
Yeah,
shape, and then it looks really pretty, or bonsai, right? You
yeah,
remove healthy shoots as well, because
yeah.
it's not quite part of the shape that they want.
Yeah, that's a good
Uh,
analogy.
that's a that's a
Removing
that's
healthy shoots, even though
brutal,
it's not growing in the direction you want it to grow, right? So
brutal, right? Gosh,
yeah,
but
ouch.
nature is
That's
brutal.
well, this is not even nature. This is humans cutting. So that's why we are saying that you cannot rest on your laurels.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't get complacent.
and yeah, you have to sit and you have to think about how do you then move on. Okay, and one of the first things we want to talk about is some signs. We cannot sit down and be complacent about what the job market is like. We always have to
Yeah.
make sure that the risk of being retrenched or the risk of being let go is still there. Okay,
You know how
what then are
when
the signs?
we speak to clients all the time, and sometimes they come to us saying that I didn't see it happen, or I didn't
Mm-hmm.
see it coming,
Mm-hmm.
or when a trigger event takes place, they come to us in a bit of a crisis, if you will, and they go, oh, I didn't see it coming, and then when we talk about it, we're like, yeah, the signs were there all along. So today we want to talk about the signs, so that our listeners and our viewers can at least put the antenna up a little bit and look for
Yeah.
those signs, so that you can preempt and hopefully
Yeah.
avoid the career cliff, as we like to call it.
Yes, correct. And if we could have the license to play the song, I'd like to play the song. I saw the signs by Ace of Base. I saw the signs, and these are the
Okay.
signs that we want to talk about when in your organization to maybe for you to put your antenna up and say, "Oh, shucks, these are things going on. Is my job safe?" And today we're going to talk about the 5 signs that your job may be at risk. The first one is when you see suddenly there's no backfilling of empty positions. Yeah, and you've seen this before, right?
All the time. And I think some organizations use the excuse that it's policy or it's the season. So, for example, I think organizations have a pattern of freezing headcount
Mm,
when it's in Q3 or Q4, or something. They'll make up an excuse, and most of the time they will sort of give you some excuse. I'm going to use the word. People say it's reasons, right? It's an excuse on why they
Excuse.
cannot backfill, and then they expect you to do more with less. So yeah, it's a sign. It's one of the many signs.
Especially if the role is somewhat critical and yet they're not backfilling it. Like for instance, if you're in accounts, you're in financing, and then suddenly there is two out of your team of four that's doing payroll and whatever that's important. Our team of four, there are people who are your two of your teammates have gone, or maybe even three, and there's only one left. And it is near impossible for you to manage your business if only one, and you ask HR, can we have a backfill? No. I'm not asking for three, just can I have one? No. But we cannot get anything done if only
You
one.
can have half a
No.
head count from the other team, and
Yeah,
I'll
from
give
the
you the intern
janitorial team, or you
and
can
the
ask the
intern
recep to staple.
from something. Yeah, we've heard of all sorts of funny ways that organizations are trying to make do with less. So when someone in your team leaves and there's no backfill, it is one of the symptoms. Again, it doesn't mean that things are not good, but obviously there's an adjustment towards. I mean, it's a big symptom, isn't it? That organization is saying that your function is not all that important.
Mm.
So you might think it's critical, but they're going, something else is more critical. So sorry. And so if you know where you fit on the totem pole,
Mm-hmm.
it's something to pay attention to.
Yeah. And sometimes even not just your department, they're not backfilling, but the other departments, and you're seeing like sales, if they don't backfill sales, something is quite wrong. I have no
Oh,
idea why you're not backfilling
that's a
sales.
problem. That's a
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
And also, in terms of the other departments, if you see that, if the company is saying there's a global headcount freeze, no matter what, that's never really a good sign. Maybe sometimes if a company has been on a global hiring spree and they've been hiring all and sundry, hairdressers and everything, then you have maybe the CEO can say, okay, let's rein in, let's stop the hiring for now, and let's reevaluate. Maybe we are too top heavy. Okay. But the point is, the moment they don't backfill positions, the moment there's a hiring freeze, the moment your department is losing people, and your bosses are telling you, no worry, it's okay. Then you wonder, why? Because if they're gonna, if they really want to shut your department down, for instance, they're not going to hire people just to let them go 2 months later, right? So that's
Correct.
one of the
Yeah. Yeah.
writings on the wall.
The bona fide freezers will have alternatives, meaning that when there's headcount freeze and it's bona fide, then you can hire on a contract. So that is still allowed, and if that happens, then I think it's okay. It means it's an actual valid reason, and then it's just transient, meaning that it's a short while, and then after that, we're back to filling people full time. So that's okay. So again, don't just take one lump in your skin and say it's cancer.
Cancer, I'm gonna die.
It's not that bad.
Yeah,
Right?
the sky. So once again, we don't want to scare you. We're not purveyors of doom and gloom. Okay, we're just telling you, just be mindful, read the signs, because even in a company
Read
that's
the
doing
signs.
exceptionally well, okay, your department or your role, for whatever reasons, okay, it could be at risk. For instance, also, like Hisham has mentioned, there's a lot of I'm gonna share his comment here, that the global direction is to do outsourcing now,
That's right.
and so if your team is leaving and there's no backfill, it could be they're just gonna outsource it anyway. Or maybe what is even more painful is maybe your team members have heard about the news, but you haven't. So you're just they've resigned, they've left already, and you're like, why is my office so
it's
empty
like
this morning?
you didn't get the memo when everyone's
You didn't
joined the
get the
outsourcing
memo.
company, and they didn't want you along. Oh no!
Yeah, that's so sad. It's like, oh no, why is everyone surprisingly joining the other company? It's like that particular. So,
Okay.
that interestingly has happened before to a point. Okay, let's share a story with you. So there's this guy, this person I know. He's quite a senior director. Okay, and he really, he exited his entire team of 16. Okay, and it was a retrenchment exercise. He knew it, and so much so that he and another person, secretary, were the only two people left. And then on a Monday morning, they put him into the office and told him, we're letting you go. And he looked at he looked at his line manager and HR and went, you're retrenching me? I said, yeah, your whole team is gone. Haven't you read the signs? Then it's just sad because he didn't see the sign. And
Denial.
yeah, I think it's denial. So This is one of the things we need to
Anyway,
look for. Okay, no backfilling
yeah.
of solution. The other one is, Chinese. If your portfolio just got smaller,
Yes,
shrinking.
if they start taking tasks and responsibilities and narrowing your field of responsibility, it's a big sign. And sometimes it can be couched in, they can sell the role to you. They can say, oh, but because we want you to focus more on something or other, or we'd like you to try this. But really, in the big scheme of things, they have effectively demoted you into something a lot smaller and narrower. And you got to be careful, because just like that strategy game of Go, you don't want to corner yourself. You don't want to limit yourself. And so if you don't put your pieces right, there's no outlet, there's no growth. Yeah, very dangerous.
And sometimes this has nothing to do with the company not doing well, or the company in recession, or the economy's in recession. Sometimes it's Game of Thrones as well. Okay, a better looking, younger, sharper uh, colleague
You had to start
up
with
and
better
rising.
looking, right?
Better looking, yeah. That's not the problem. See, just everyone's better looking. So, they get the
But yeah.
job, okay, and then they're starting to increase the portfolio, and then they tell the boss, hey, actually, I can handle this. I can handle Adrian's portfolio. They say, I handle IBM account better. Oh, I've got experience with, and then suddenly your portfolio is being eaten away, or maybe the
Yes.
boss has a favorite, or maybe the boss has
Yes.
parachuted someone in from the UK or from the US or from Australia,
Yeah.
and to preserve his job, they're farming out your bits and pieces to him.
Yes. Yeah, that happens as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they kind of change your portfolio. It's not just the size of it, but they tell you, oh, we want you to try this other thing now. And then they give your very plump, juicy portfolio to someone else.
Yes, that's happened before.
And that's
I've got
sometimes very, very
it's like
like, here, take the poison chalice.
yeah, I've got a very important special project for you to do. It's like, oh shit.
Here,
But
go to cold storage. I'll put you on ice until you
yeah,
figure out that you want to quit.
yeah, correct. And then no, but in the meantime, it's so important. It's so important and so critical that we cannot have you focusing on anything else. We're going to give your portfolio to
Someone else.
Michael over there. Okay, I want you to focus on this. Okay, it's so exciting. We're going to do a huge transformation project. One of those things where you do not know what transform from what to what. You have no idea. But then
It
you go
is quite
figure out.
a conundrum. We've had clients who ask, should I take this promotion or should I turn it down? And when you're faced with that fork in the road, without the actual larger picture, the visibility or the awareness of where the market is headed, or the awareness in the network to tell you that this might not be the right direction, you could end up making the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no, once again, there's no yes or no, right or wrong answer. We're just telling you these are the signs for that you have to watch out for. And for those of you who just joined us at the top of the hour, my name is Adrian, and Yen's my co-founder, and we're talking about the 5 signs you need to look out for that could indicate your job's at risk. And it's not necessarily that your company is retrenching because of bad business. It's just sometimes just office politics. So
Or adjustments. Corporate
adjustments or
adjustments.
pruning. Okay, so
Pruning.
strategic redeployment. Okay, of
Like the
resources.
TVA. Those of you Marvel fans, the TVA, we like to prune.
The time, what the time variance
Time
authority, is it?
something. Yeah.
Okay, you Marvel girl,
Okay.
I have no idea. So if you see a portfolio changing, or if you see roles being backfilled but not being filled up again, then you have to watch
Not
out
you
for
see
it.
roles being backfilled. No, you see roles not being backfilled.
Sorry, we
Yeah.
see roles not being backfilled. Okay, do you have any questions online or anything?
I guess it's part of our comment when we talked about the fact that you've been narrowed, or your portfolio's been shrunk. I guess one of our readers is asking, do we not fight for it? If we don't take it on, it's so difficult to answer, because it's contextual, isn't it? Because it could be a bona fide opportunity to try something new. Maybe they're incubating a new idea, and so it's up to you to get a sense and be in the know. And so if you are hunkered down and working too hard and you never peek above your cubicle, then how do you know if this is going to be the right direction
That's
for
true.
you? And how do you know that it's a bona fide opportunity for growth? You don't. Or maybe you're just a tool or a pawn in a larger chess game. So it is very, very difficult for us, I guess, to answer now, should we fight for to protect our territory, because we've met a lot of people who protect their territory to the point that they become very rigid and territorial and
Yes.
difficult to work
Yes.
with,
Yes.
or,
Mine.
or
Don't
they
touch this.
don't have an open mind to try the new thing, because that new
Yeah.
thing could just turn into a golden goose for
Yeah.
future opportunity, and then you could grow a team, and you could have an offshoot. You could have it could get very exciting. So again, you have to do enough research and be connected enough to ask the right questions, to then calculate the risk, and then to decide whether or not to take it on. But saying that if it's couched as a promotion and you don't take it on, eventually they'll stop giving you opportunities as well.
Yeah, that's
So
true. And that's why if you're in a situation like this, okay, if you're in a conundrum, if you're at a crossroad, come talk to us. Come talk to us. At Career Agility International, we are very good at being able to provide you perspective. Okay, not so much solutions that we can do, but a perspective for you to come to your own right conclusions, and therefore then we can work on your solutions together on how to achieve a sustainable career. So if you're in a situation now where you feel you're being pushed in a corner, or you do see the signs, okay, then you have to watch out. Come talk to us. Once again, just drop us an email at info@careeragility.org. Okay, just drop us an email.
Yep.
Now, what is the third sign? Let's see. This is so sad when you're being excluded. You see this poor lady over here. It's like everyone's all like talking about her behind her back, and one of the signs which could mean that your role is at risk in an organization is when they start excluding you from from meetings, from discussions, from long-range planning sessions.
And in the beginning, sometimes you might think, oh, great, they're leaving me alone, so I can now focus on my work. Yay! No.
Yay!
No. I know too many individuals, introverted types, right, who don't like the so many meetings, or forget the introversion. I apologize. No, it's not just the introvert. Sometimes even extroverts, I took so many meetings. No, stop pulling me into meetings. But it's not a bad thing that you're being pulled into meetings. The moment they stop pulling you into meetings, something's wrong.
Something's wrong, right?
Something's wrong. Yeah.
Or if you're suddenly not CC'd in emails, or and one of the most telling signs is if there's long range planning, okay, strategic planning, numbers for next year, and you're not invited, and you ask why, they say, some lame ass reason is given to you. Why? Because this one is with a new initiative or whatever it is, and you start feeling like, hey, something is quite wrong over here. Why am I
it's okay.
not?
No, we didn't want to disturb you, because we do have we've had reports that people are unhappy with having too many meetings. So only the most critical people in the know need to be in these meetings, and so don't worry about it. We'll be in touch. No.
So that's why it honestly makes you nervous. Okay, we've had clients who one of the biggest signs was that they got excluded from a lot of meetings, and it's something which like what you say, at the first glance is like, less fewer meetings, but it starts to bite after a while. They are like putting you in a corner for you to sit by yourself and to sit yourself out.
Yeah, as an executive in a larger corporate, it's always important that you look out. Don't just hunker down and work. Look up and just connect to people and find out what they are up to. Because sometimes you don't even know you're not included. You don't know it, and so if you don't reach out and initiate conversation and talk to others about things that are happening, then you'll really be left out. And I think that's even worse. And then you won't even see the sign when the train hits you.
Yeah, bam, and then suddenly your roadkill. So you got to be mindful, okay? And the fourth one is, if isn't rosy, if the trends are not pointing in your direction. Sometimes it's really nice when you're invited by the company to, hey, head up a new division. We're going to start up a new online marketing sales thrust to bolster our revenue. And suddenly you jump on it, and after 3 months or 6 months, when it's not getting any traction, and then and the trend is not in your favor, then you might be in a bit of a situation where they might have to shut it down. Or maybe sometimes your division you're in is selling products like these, okay? Remember this, Yan?
It's a pager. I had one of those.
Okay, so for those of our listeners...
Do you remember? Wait, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. So for those of our listeners who of our vintage who are using pages, can you drop into the comment section what are some of the codes which you used to send to each other, your boyfriends or your girlfriends or
What a
okay
waste of time.
yeah, I know it was, but it was so funny. Okay, just drop in there. I know one of the codes. The simple one is 143, which I used to send to my girlfriend last time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so if you have a code, drop it in, okay? And it's so funny. There you go. 143. That's mine. It stands for I love you.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like corny, but so you were saying I digressed.
Do you remember a time when resumes had a pager number, a landline, and a mobile phone number, in addition to a home address in the resume right at the top?
Telex
It's
code.
and a fax number and a DID direct line, right? Gosh,
Oh
those are
yeah,
the
yeah.
days.
That's true. Those are the
Yeah.
days. And if the industry isn't rosy or this other thing that people are selling, okay. My daughter was asking why is the telephone
What?
so big? So it's like it's so funny. Okay. Or even these are the best. Oh, these were really cool when it first came out. Do you know what these are? Do you remember
Yeah,
what these
floppy
are?
disks. Yes, yes.
No, they're not. They're not. These are not floppies.
No. Then what is the one at the bottom
Okay, who
is?
knows? All these are iOmega zip drives.
Oh
Okay, they
well,
were like
yeah.
10 megabytes big at the time, which is really big because the biggest one was 1.4
Mm.
megabyte
I
on the
remember
print.
those huge 5-inch floppy disks, right? That
Oh
had to put into
yeah,
the textbook to bring to school because they were so big, and you
yeah,
didn't want it folded, so you had to put
folded,
it into
right?
your
Yeah,
textbook.
yeah. Those were the days of there was
Okay,
360
we need
kilobytes.
to tell we need to stop telling people our age,
Yeah,
Adrian.
but
Let's
if
move
your
on.
industry is in a twilight or is in
Yeah.
a product range that's being grandfathered out,
Mm.
it's time for you to start looking up for other roles. Okay,
Yeah,
so you have to check yourself.
you want to move from a boat that is slowing down
Mhm.
and join a boat that is at least speeding up. And
Yeah.
I know I talk in metaphors all the time, right? But it is really about that, isn't it? Because if the larger environment isn't doing well, then if
Mhm.
you're a member of that team, even if you're critical, eventually you're going to be phased out.
Yeah. And it's an eventuality. Okay, it's not a matter of if
Yeah.
but when. Okay, because
Yes, that's right.
it's the writings on the wall. Do you know that Yellow Pages used to hand out CD-ROMs all the way up to 2017?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, CD-ROMs in
Yeah.
2017. So it's like I used to have one lying around, but it was it kind of disintegrated probably. But so if you're in an industry that's on a decline, or if you're in a segment of your company's product portfolio that is in
Yes.
decline, okay,
Yes.
it's time for you to jump onto a faster speedboat to get into something that moves a bit faster with a lot more potential. And
That's
what
right.
happens then if you don't have the skills or the knowledge to jump onto that faster speedboat? What do you think they should do?
Well, you got to start getting it then. Start networking and start closing those gaps.
Hmm.
I mean, the
And
thing is, there's a lot of people come
hmm,
to us at the point in time when they're going, "Oh no, I've missed the boat. Is it too late?" Well, it never is, but it becomes a little bit harder.
yeah.
So it's really important that you pay attention to the market skills demand. So
Hmm,
what is the market looking for, and what are the skills? So there are a lot of clients that we've met who are not very technically digitally connected. And so that's dangerous, right? Because if everything is digitized and you're not
hmm.
used to it, then that could be a problem.
True. So you have to gain the skills, but no, come talk to us as well. At Career Agility, we do have strategies that can help you to become sharper and more agile. And one of our regular listeners that just mentioned this. Yellow Pages used to give out CD-ROMs, and for the interest of our younger viewers today, we have to explain to you what Yellow Pages are. Okay, Yellow Pages. Okay, Ian, how would you describe Yellow Pages in today's modern
It's a
day parlance?
directory. It's a phone directory. It's actually a phone directory. That's right.
It's a physical
Yeah.
book that's about this
Yes, it
thick
is.
of everyone's name
And
and
the only
company
reason
advertisements.
the only need for it now is for the strong man to tear it in half in competitions.
I know, that's so funny, right?
But
But I tell you
but
what's
they
hilarious. Okay? I tell you what's hilarious. I was watching a short snippet of Terminator 1. You know, the part where
Yes.
Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, the Model T, can't remember. Anyway,
Whatever.
he was hunting down the Sarah Connors, you know. So he goes up to the
Yes.
phone booth, he flips open the telephone booth, and he looks at all the names in
Yes.
the phone directory. He rips off the
Yes.
page with all the 5 Sarah Connors, right? And I
Yes.
was thinking, wow, in the old days, we used to have everyone's name,
Name and
address,
number.
and phone number.
But
It's like, what is
you
the
have a
PDPA violation? You know, it's like everyone.
but you needed to know how not to get your name listed, and that was still that exclusion right. But you need to know how to do it.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
so funny. It was like no one can. You know, I remember the name, the phone number, and the address was just there of everyone. You know, of in
Yeah.
Singapore. It's like okay, wow.
Yeah.
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 So anyway, if you're in Yellow Pages, okay, then doing that type of business, then you might want to worry about it. But the other point is this. The final point is this: if you see senior managers leaving in droves, that is not a good sign. It may
Yeah.
not be a sign that the company is retrenching, but
Yeah.
it could be a sign that there is a lot of turmoil up ahead, or maybe
Correct.
turmoil that's already there, but you're not seeing it because you're not privy to it, right?
Yeah. So it's not just the rank and file leaving; it is management that's leaving. So what that signals is that it's going to be very turbulent because there will be huge leadership gaps, one, or that new leaders are going to come in and change things up again, and so your own initiatives are going to be redirected, and so you can't really do continue business as usual without a head, without a proper leader. So if more than one, and it's not necessarily your own leader, it could be the leaders of the other markets.
Mm-hmm.
And it is something to think about. So if your CFO leaves, your CMO leaves, your CTO leaves, and then the head of Southeast Asia leaves,
If they all leave
something's
if they all leave at the
or
same time,
all
with
within a
with
6 month period, it is not a good sign.
with no job in hand, that's even the more telling sign.
Mm,
You're quitting with nothing in hand. It's like, okay, I've seen it happen before,
yeah,
and I've seen a CFO organization where the CFO mysteriously quit with nothing in
right,
hand,
right.
and in the
Oh,
cover of
yes.
darkness and the shout of
When
sight,
the CFO leaves, yes,
yes, the
yes, because
CFO leaves.
they don't want to sign things off.
Yeah, or they're seeing the numbers and they're like, oh boy, okay,
Oh,
so.
yes, yes.
But don't freak out if your CFO leaves. Okay, anyway, don't freak out if CFO leaves. It's quite normal. CFOs are humans too, and they deserve our love and care. Okay, they're not like the canary in the mine where the canary dies and it's like, oh no, get out of the mine fast. Okay, CFOs are not the canaries that test the air quality in the mine, even though they are sometimes. But it's
Again,
just a
take all of the signals in totality, not just one, right? So again,
yeah.
don't jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
But really, yes, you're right. When senior management leaves, it is a signal of turbulence because when someone new comes in, they're going to change things up.
Mhm.
Or if there's no one to head, no one to lead the charge, then the troops are going to be in disarray, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, mm,
It's a very telling sign, okay. And sometimes when senior management leave, like what Ian is saying, new management comes in. And when new management comes in, they got a new idea for it. They got their own boys, their old boys club, which they want to bring in on board. Okay, especially if the person's coming in from a big organization, or the person's being parachuted in from the army into a new organization, and suddenly you see a lot of colonels and okay, anyway, enough said. Suddenly you see a lot of management organization changes. Okay,
skating
so
on thin ice, Mr. Chu.
very thin ice. So I just had a crack on the ice. It's going to be called up very soon. But it is true. If you do see senior managers leaving, writings on the wall, and once again, Yen is correct. It's not about one sign. It's a combination of and other signs
Mm,
that you may not see, but trust your spider
your
sense.
blink,
Yeah,
your
the
blink.
spider sense. If you see something's going on, okay. So what can you do about it? What can you do about it? And the whole idea is prepare your exit strategy, whatever it is. Even if things are going well, prepare your exit strategy. Are your marketing collaterals up to date? Your CV, your LinkedIn, is your branding? Are you ready for a job search, a very quick job search if that happens? Are you in job search? Do you have a job search strategy? And do you even have a career strategy, especially if you are in a position where your skills or your market or your product might be a bit obsolete? How do you then pivot out into something different? So you need to have the career
Mm.
strategy. Come talk to us. Okay, we
So on
can
that
help
point,
you.
right, I was
Mm.
just thinking about it, right? Because if all of the symptoms present themselves, it definitely means turbulence ahead, right? But
Mhm.
turbulence ahead, if you have done number one, prepare, maybe not exit, no, but
Yeah.
preparation, or number two, you have a career strategy, turbulence equals opportunity. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you are primed to fill that gap, take it, right? But sometimes
Yeah.
if you are hunkered down and you're working so hard and you don't see it and you haven't upskilled and you're not ready, then when the turbulence happens, you're not ready to take the opportunity because again, when there's mess, there is
Mhm.
opportunity.
There
And
is.
there's always you want to be ready to strike when the iron is hot and when there's heat. Of course, it's uncomfortable, but change is uncomfortable. But if you're ready, you can just immediately leverage that turbulence for your own career acceleration.
Yeah,
But you have to
that's
be
true.
ready to see the opportunity,
But the
so
big challenge is,
the
yeah,
cloud has a silver lining.
a lot of times people don't have, they're not ready, and sometimes it's a matter of denial, being in denial, and
Or
that's why
maybe
we
they
want
don't
to
want the
shake.
job now. There's so many reasons now.
So many reasons, right? But what we want to do for you, our listeners today, is we want to shake the tree a little bit, okay, to give you a little bit of a jolt to say that, look, even though the market's picking up, even though there are roles out there and everything, if you don't have your career strategy correct, or if you don't have
Yeah,
your job search strategy ready even before
yeah,
you hit the exit button, it's going to take time. It's going to
yeah,
cost you money, and pain and misery and uncertainty.
yeah.
So you got to get everything already ducks in a row.
Yeah, and by doing that, right, you limit the bruising, because when there's discomfort, sometimes we go into this dark place. We start
Mm,
questioning whether or not we're doing the right things, and then there's all this self doubt, and there's all this
yeah.
mental anguish that's sometimes not worth it. So if you fix your roof, then when it rains, your roof will hold. So
Mm.
and we also want to say it's a reality check here, as Adrian pointed out, right? We're shaking the tree, but really we're just asking you to
Shake,
make
shake,
hay
shake,
while
shake.
the sun shines.
Yeah.
Make hay while the sun shines. When things are looking good, prepare everything, network, connect,
Mm.
find out more, plan, make all your decisions. I mean, and then manage your risk. And so when things happen, you're ready to take the opportunity or you're ready to leave in jump ship. It works both ways.
Yep. No, what Jack Ma always says, right? The best time to fix your roof is when it's not raining. So, but I wish he took his own advice because he's right now disappeared
I think he's
off the
look,
face
he's
of the earth.
doing. I'm sure he's just enjoying the fruits of his labor and
I
his
think so.
retirement.
Yeah. Let's
And
wish him all the best.
it's at this level that he can go follow your passions because he's
Oh
already
yes.
made it.
Oh yes. Richest man in China, I think. So, but if you are feeling some degree of career uncertainty, or if you're at a career crossroad right now, or if there's some trigger that's making you really question your career strategy or career decisions, come talk to us. Okay, info
Yeah.
at careeragility.org. We are really good at what we do. You can just we've been in the business for the past 4 years plus already, and we've helped thousands of people. So come talk to us. We are always here to hear. But the whole idea also is this: there are times where you need to pause, take a pause on your job, and start thinking about your career. What exactly is career happiness for you? What exactly is career success for you? And that's why we actually put up a program, called a very short program, a very short course called The Secret to Lasting Career Success. It's a series of videos as well as a 3 books, okay, for you to tune in and for you to watch and to learn, and just open your minds on what are the 3 basic elements of your career strategy. Okay, the code is here, the QR code is here. Just scan and just have a read through it over the weekend, and I think you will definitely find it mind eye opening. Okay, it's gonna shift your mindset and hopefully make you more career agile.
That's the idea. Anyway,
quote is
Adrian likes to give homework, so yes, please go figure out what your career strategy is so that you can make plans and you can see, um, just see the signs and a lot more. Read the green, whatever other analogy I can think of. we don't
read the tea
have, we
leaves.
don't, we,
Read the tea
we
leaves.
don't, we don't have the green. You know, like golf. It's a golfing analogy, but we don't have a fortune telling ball, crystal ball. But we can do our best to at least manage the foreseeable future. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But do have a think about it. Of the 5 signs, how many of the signs are there? And if all
Mm,
5 are there, then you have to really start thinking about your exit
what's
strategy.
next?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the what next in
Okay.
life.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah. So once again, we come to the end of our program. And if you have any questions or any suggestions for future episodes, what do you want to talk about? Just drop us an email, info@careeragility.org. Happy to have that discussion with you. And if you have any career questions, and we are looking forward to seeing you again next week. How's your weekend plans coming up, Ian? Hiking again?
So, well, Alvin returns from a business trip tonight.
Mm.
We'll see whether or not he's up to a long hike. Maybe we'll take it easy.
Oh, that's nice. I have
Yeah.
home duties on the weekend. My boy is down with COVID, so got to start taking
Mm,
care of him. And
yeah.
it's and I've got lots of gardening to do. My pumpkins are ripe, so I'm gonna start harvesting them and probably post photos. But
That's great.
for those of us who have a free and easy weekend, I want to wish you all the best and enjoy your free and easy weekend. In the meantime, stay career agile and keep tuning into our career success show. Have a great weekend, everybody. Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
TGIF.
Yeah.